So you just finished your 50 quick play wins or are a returning player and must answer the question, how do I climb in ranked? An age-old question that oftentimes winds up with the answer, just get good. But what if we didn't leave it at that? Let's talk about how to improve faster, win more, and climb fast. To get it out of the way, the simplest tip I can give you is to simply stop caring about that fancy rank and start playing the game a whole lot more with growth in mind. I know that it isn't what a lot of people are here on this video for, but it is important enough to at least acknowledge. You can't be hard on yourself for being low in rank or hate your rank so much to the point that you don't even play. No one is going to flame you this early on for where you are, but they will if you don't put in the effort and try to improve to the best of your ability. So let's get into the actual tip number 1. What characters should you play? For new players, this is a pretty common question, and honestly, it can change by the week if you want to play the most effective tactics available or the meta. Contrary to popular belief though, playing the best characters is not the main variable to your success in ranked. At the end of the day, if you are performing well in your character of choice and getting a lot of value, you likely will win a lot more and thus you'll climb. I motion you to pick a character that you really love to play, and I mean love to play. I decided to pick up Ana on Xbox, which made it pretty hard to aim at first, but because I enjoyed myself, I was willing to put in the work and improve. I urge you to reflect deeply about which characters you like the most and work on mastering them. That also doesn't mean that you have to stick with the first character you pick either. I started originally as a Genji main in season 1 of Overwatch, and it took me 2 more seasons to find Ana. If you really want to know what characters are strong right now, I will put a list up here on screen for the current patch this video was launched on. If the video is now outdated by the time you are watching, take a look through my channel and look to see if there are any updated meta tier lists near when you are watching. This topic cycles perfectly into the next point, which pertains to how one should play ranked. Should you just focus on one character or pick up a variety, play aggressive or passive, or never play outside of a group? To be completely honest, it depends on the player. For me, I tend to dedicate each session to a character that I want to play, whether it be to maximize wins or to improve at them in scrim play, and lock that hero at the start of every single game. For example, this season, I've been picking Ana pretty much every single game. I enjoy this method because it allows me to truly lock in and min-max my improvement on the character of choice. If I play for long periods of time, it also ensures that I am set up to play the character to my best potential, as I have essentially warmed up the entire session for the most recent game. Just because you start in a character though doesn't mean that you should never switch. In a situation where my character will not complement my team at all, I will usually switch right then and there. The same goes for if the enemy has a composition that is completely destroying my character. For example, if I'm intending to play Wrecking Ball and my team is playing characters like Moira, Lucio, Reaper, and Torbjorn, and the enemy is playing characters like Ana or Sombra, I may consider switching big time, as it is simply the worst case scenario for my hero. Oftentimes, however, this just won't be the case. Most games will be at least okay for your hero of choice. A question I receive often pertains to that of aggressive playstyles. Should you play super safe or super aggressively? My answer to this is not direct. Instead, think about how you can maximize the value you are outputting within each fight. So many players, most commonly supports, are so focused on not dying that they are completely out of the fight, contributing nothing more than if they were just sitting in spawn or dead. On the flip side, many DPS players love to play so aggressively that they die every single fight they get a chance. It is important that you are confident in yourself to place yourself in an active spot that allows you to follow through and create the plays that you need. This differs with the composition you are playing. If you are playing a composition that wants to stick together and run the enemy down, make sure to stay close to your tank. But if you're playing a composition that would rather play split, look for opportunities to find picks or other valuable opportunities. Another very common concern players have when attempting to climb is whether or not they should duo with a friend. In most scenarios, I prefer playing with a duo over just playing alone, but it is incredibly important that you aren't just playing with a friend if you want to climb. It is much deeper than that. Your duo should have the same goals as you. Presumably, you are here because you want to push yourself. You want to grind, improve, and truly develop your skills. You do not want your high-ranked friend to simply hop on an alternate account and play with you. What happens when they're gone? All of your solo games are now lost and no improvement was made. Essentially, you just completely wasted your time. On the flip side, you can't just play with your friends that may be a little bit worse than you because you feel bad. Playing within lower ranks doesn't help you push yourself and get better, especially if you are constantly being tracked down. It may be a hard decision to make, but some steps are a must in order to push yourself to your limit. Thematically, understand that the best duo isn't the best player you can possibly play with, rather someone that is consistent and has the same values as you. Grouping with more than 2 or 3 players is generally just a bad idea though. Most of the time, especially in lower ranks, these groups run into stacks against high-level players on alternate accounts. You are just making things harder on yourself by doing this. If you want to climb, stick to the duo or trio. Without LFG in the game anymore, you may find it difficult to find the perfect group to climb with, so consider joining the Paz Nation Discord community where you can meet a ton of like-minded players just like you to aid in your climb. You can find the link in the description. Now that some of the heavier concepts are out of the way, it is time to run through some of the quicker tips. First off, with your settings, I typically advise players to prioritize frames over anything else. I will create a more in-depth settings guide soon, but for now, consider playing on low settings. Trust me, it helps reduce visual clutter as well as give you a bit more frames to react, and the game still looks stunning. Moving on, the one thing you know more than anyone else is yourself. You know when you're having a good day or an off day, but most importantly, you know when you're tilting. Tilt in this sense is a state of mental or emotional confusion or frustration resulting in the player playing much differently than normal, usually after losing 2 or more games in a row. If you notice yourself becoming increasingly angry with your teammates after each game you lose, it is time to just take a step back, breathe, and just take a general break for the next few hours. While it may feel like pseudoscience, this is a real phenomenon that many players struggle with, resulting in crippling SR gains in the long term. I've already made a video in the past going more in depth with this concept that you should seriously consider watching if you struggle with this problem consistently. Past this, as stated previously, it is extremely important that you do not just play the game. You must have an improvement mindset throughout your climb. Playing just to play is a waste of time, but how do you counteract this? For many players just starting out, all it takes is good introspective reflection after each game. Ask yourself, did I win or did I lose? Was the game close? What could I have done to win by a wider margin or pull out a victory from the loss? If you don't have an answer to this question, then it may be time to look back at one of your replays or VOD review. To keep this video from going on for too long, we won't talk about specifics as I've already created another guide on my channel pertaining to this concept. However, if you have truly committed to the topics within this video and still aren't seeing improvement, I currently do review VODs through my Fiverr page within the description. I want to reiterate though that you should only use this option if nothing else is working. A lot of it comes down to staying positive and being hypercritical of your own gameplay and improving yourself. Don't compare yourself with the symbol on the screen. Compare yourself with the character that was playing the same game yesterday and the day before. Even if you are just a fraction of a percent better each day, that equates to a lot of growth in just a year, and that really does mean something. Before I send you off on your way, I ask that you please do take care of yourself. While climbing fast does require a lot of time and dedication, the game will always be here. Make sure you prioritize your social well-being and physical health above all else. What you will come to find is that by improving your quality of life outside of the game, you will have a much easier time dialing in and focusing when it is time to play on top of just being generally happier, avoiding tilt. I don't know how else to really prove it, but this semester at Penn State, I started going to the gym a lot more, and even though I have been playing less as a result, I find myself playing better and simply looking forward to the experience a lot more. This is a daunting concept for some, I know, so if you want quick tips on where to start, don't be afraid to ask questions in the comments below or just reach out to me within Discord. I am by no means an expert, but maybe I can help you get on the right track. Climbing in ranked really does come down to accepting the improvement process that comes along with it. If you can buckle down and find it within yourself to focus on your mistakes and not blame your teammates, with proper time, you will achieve the rank you desire. That is simply a fact. If you found value in today's video, consider giving it a like and maybe even subscribing to the channel. I intend on creating tons of educational Overwatch 2 content to aid your improvement process in the future. Also, thank you so much to everyone that helped us achieve the goal of 10,000 subscribers this past Saturday. This has been my goal for the year since the start of 2022, and it really does mean a lot to help that many people consistently. So thank you guys all so much for supporting me, but until next time, I've got to peace out and Paz out. I'll see you in the next one.